Our next presenter is Debbie Roth. Debbie has 2 visual art pieces, and she also has a story that she's going to read from.
Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to be here. My name is Debbie Roth, and my son is Stanley, somewhere in the room, and we're very excited to be here. And we came from Texas. We now live in Texas. So welcome, everybody, and I'm happy to support all of you. You all have wonderful, amazing stories to share. Thank you very much. In the 1960s, there was an epidemic that swept the country, affecting thousands of pregnant women and their unborn children. In fact, my mother was 6 weeks pregnant with me when she learned that she had contracted the rubella, as known as the German measles. Her housekeeper recognized her full-blown rash as a symptom of this dangerous disease. When the diagnosis was confirmed, my parents were a nervous wreck. My brother, who was 2 years old, was not affected by this virus, but they remained worried about me. 7.5 months was a long time to wait, but when I was finally born, I looked healthy in every way. As time went by, though, my mother and my grandfather wondered if I might have hearing problems. My pediatrician thought otherwise. He shook a rattle, and I moved my head. Therefore, he declared I was fine. Evidently, I've been following his movement only with my eyes. From infancy through early toddlerhood, I seemed to be a happy child. But after that, my disposition changed a bit. I have vivid memories of feeling isolated and frustrated because I could not hear or communicate. I even bit my brother sometimes, which I regret. At age 3, I joined the preschool my brother had attended. I was well cared for, but my teacher informed my parents that she suspected I have an hearing deficiency. She had noted I was not communicating with other children and very quiet. Off I went to Children's Hospital in Boston to confirm my moderate to severe hearing loss due to the effect of my mother's rubella. 2 hearing aids were fitted. Then I went 3 times a week for speech therapy in Worcester, Massachusetts. My speech lessons were consisted of using mirrors, wearing hearing aids, and feeling my therapist's throat to learn how to make appropriate phonics-based sounds. At age 6, I was placed at a residential school for the deaf where I would stay for the next 8 years. The school was an hour and a half away from my parents' home. I would stay there during the week and come home on weekends. A school cab would pick me up in my house and then stop to pick me up 7 other students from various towns. At first, leaving home was a complete nightmare. I kicked, I cried, and screamed because I could not grasp where I was going. My father had to climb in the car with me until I reached the end of my street. This went on for 3 weeks. Finally, I understood I would be returning home at the end of the week. A teenage fellow student who would take care of me, allowing me to sleep on her shoulder on the way to the school. I'm still good friends with her today. At the first few years, I would have to leave home on Sunday afternoon and spend the night with the girls in the dormitory. Occasionally, my father was willing to drive me to the school on Monday morning instead, and we would stop at Howard Johnson restaurant for breakfast. It was delightful. A few years later, the school changed its schedule, so students would leave or arrive to school Monday morning rather than Sunday afternoon. This was so nice and gave me more time weekend with my family. The school urban campus was on a hill with the gymnasium on one side and the dormitory down below. Dorm life was fun with other children. I practiced basketball, cheerleading after school, and we would have movie nights, games, and homework in the evening. Each year we had a variety night where parents and friends could watch students from the whole school perform in talent shows. A favorite memory of my class reciting was take me out for the ball game, and with all of us dressed in baseball uniforms. This was a rewarding and fun experience as we had not only memorized the song, but also practiced our speech and pitch as much as possible. One year, we all learned about the olden days when there was no electricity and students used slates instead of paper for writing assignments. We had a week of training and it was held in the dorm living room. We girls wore long dresses and bonnets. A boy in our class was responsible for bringing wood for the fireplace daily, and teachers used rulers to discipline disruptive students. To culminate, we all traveled by bus to the old Sturbridge village in Sturbridge, Massachusetts, to observe a one-room schoolhouse, and we slept in a hotel. By contrast, summers and weekends at home could seem lonely and boring. My dear friend lived spread out across different towns, and often there were no other children in my immediate neighborhood. Occasionally, my best friend would visit me and vice versa. Once she invited me on a trip to Maine to visit her grandmother, who lived in an old home with no electricity. I remember the long drive there and a sudden announcement. This was at midnight, where I would have to learn to cope with a German shepherd when we arrived. Thankfully, I overcame my fear for the dog, and we had a fabulous time. And there's more to my story as you read in the book. Thank you for having me here. And Monica, thank you so much for your support, and MC as well. Thank you.